Everyone is talking about peptides. They can be injected or taken as tablets, and reportedly, they can make you look younger, heal and recover faster, and even give you more testosterone. But imagine spending £150 on one, following the instructions, injecting it every single day for a month, and then finding out that the vial was mostly useless, or worse, something else entirely. Let's be honest about why so many people are using peptides right now. These have a lot of promise. The problem is that unlike prescribed medication or even standard supplements, there's no system checking what's actually in the product before it reaches you. You're gonna have to be a lot more streetwise than usual. Are you buying what you think you're buying? Because when people talk about peptides online, the conversation jumps straight to, does it work? What's the right dose? And how do I get the best results?
I went down a rabbit hole so that you don't have to.
I was doing 2.5 milligrams every other day.
Here's the first thing that can go wrong, and it has nothing to do with the peptide itself. Most peptides arrive in a freeze-dried powder, in a vial like this. Before you inject anything, you have to mix bacteriostatic water into it yourself.
You're going to draw up 6 mLs of the water to insert into the peptide vial,
which turns the powder into the liquid that you inject. Simple enough process, but here's where it gets interesting. During the original manufacturing of that powder, certain bacteria can leave traces behind, tiny fragments invisible to the naked eye. And once you've added the water and it looks like a perfectly normal clear liquid, they're still in there. But inject that into your body and your immune system sees it immediately. Fever, chills, joint pain. Some people assume that they're reacting badly to the peptide, but the peptide might not be the problem at all. It's what came along with it. The unsettling thing is that there's no way to catch it yourself. You can't see it or smell it or taste it. The only warning sign you have is your own body after the fact, after you've actually put it in your body. At this point, you're pretty much the guinea pig. Legitimate manufacturers test for this at every single stage of production. It's a non-negotiable, but in an unregulated market, you're trusting that the seller did it properly, and a lot of them have shown that they either don't or they don't do it well enough. And the worst part is this can happen with a product that looks completely legitimate. And then there's the mislabeling problem. Wrong compound, wrong amount, a vial with a fraction of the dose that you actually paid for, a completely different compound, or nothing useful at all. And here's the thing, you'd probably never know. You're going off how you feel, and that's pretty much your only measuring tool. For a supplement you're eating or drinking, that's one thing. For something going directly into your body via an injection, that's a completely different kind of risk entirely. Most sellers will show you something called a certificate of analysis, or a COA. It's a document that's supposed to prove that an independent lab has tested the product and confirmed what's actually in it. But here's the problem. A COA on a website means almost nothing on its own. Anyone can fake one. Seriously, a PDF editor or Canva is all it takes. There's no one checking whether it's real, and there's no penalty if it isn't. The FDA sent warning letters to multiple peptide vendors in late 2024. One of the biggest in the US, pulling hundreds of thousands of visitors a month, was raided and shut down in 2025 after ignoring them. And most people buying from these vendors had no idea anything was wrong. The site looked professional, the COA was right there, everything looked fine. Real, independent testing done on your specific batch by a real lab, in this market, that's rare. Genuinely rare. Peptides are very fragile. They normally come as a freeze-dried powder, and they need to stay cold. If a shipment sits in a warm warehouse or a delivery van in the middle of summer, let's say, for a few days, the product can degrade significantly before it even reaches you. And that's another problem. The vial will look exactly the same. You'd never know. The compound breaks down when the temperature isn't right. But is the company you're buying from storing them properly before they ship? Most people never really think to ask that. They assume that it's being done in the right way. And there's no real way to know from just looking at the vial if it's been degraded 2 weeks ago in a warehouse. You're pretty much hoping that it was handled right the whole way until it got to your front door. July 2025, Las Vegas. A conference called the Revolution Against Aging and Death Festival. If that name alone isn't a red flag, I don't know what is. 2 women received peptides injections at a booth inside the event. Within a short time, both were in ambulances. Tongue swelling, trouble breathing, heart rate spiking. By the time they reached hospital, one was already intubated. The other had lost muscle control in her neck and couldn't open her eyes or speak to doctors. Both recovered, but they spent days in hospital. Investigators looked into whether it was caused by an infection, contamination in the vials, or an issue with the medication itself. They never got a definitive answer. When something goes wrong with an unregulated injection, nobody can tell you immediately what caused it, not even the doctors treating you. And in this market, that's not unusual. So before the peptide has even had a chance to do anything, it might be contaminated, mislabeled, unverified, or degraded in transit. And on top of all of that, and this part actually surprised me, nobody has actually established the right human dose. The data we have covers fewer than 30 people. 30. But I'm going to be real with you. Most of you watching this have probably already made up your minds. You're not here for permission. If someone you trust has tried these and it's worked for them, you're very likely to try it yourself. And that's your call to make. But there's a real difference between taking a calculated risk and going in completely blind. Be suspicious of where the recommendation came from. That Reddit post saying that a particular source is solid, is it from someone with a genuine track record, or is it someone making a commission?
My trusted source and vendor, the one that I have linked in my bio, as well as a coupon code for you all, just put a comment Peptide. I'll give you the website.
Paid recommendations disguised as genuine advice are everywhere in this space. And that's just the reality of it. I even get emails from companies asking me to promote these kinds of products quite frequently, and some of the companies look very shady. If you can, look at the COA before you order. Not just check that one exists. Check when it was done, which lab ran it, and whether it matches the batch that you're buying. If the vendor can't answer those questions, that's your answer. Know the warning signs before you inject anything. Fever, chills, feeling like you're fighting something within an hour or two. That's not an adjustment period. Take it seriously. And at the minimum, write down what it is you took, the compound, how much, and also the source. If something goes wrong and you need medical help, being able to tell the doctor exactly what you injected matters more than you think. I'm not here to tell you that peptides are dangerous and that you're an idiot for being curious about them. You can go down a dark alley with a flashlight and a gun, or you can go down it with your eyes closed and your fingers crossed. The choice is yours. The science is genuinely interesting, and I understand why someone who's tried everything else decides to explore this space. But the conversation almost always jumps straight into, does it work, and how much do you need to take? It skips the more important question, do you actually have what you think you have? That question deserves more attention than it gets. Be a bit streetwise, don't follow a link from a random post, know what you're buying, know where it came from, and know your warning signs. That's it. This next one might interest you. There's a supplement that can help you sleep better, feel stronger, and it's legal.